Prabhu, screen again went back. You just move forward a little bit. Only head. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you may start, Prabhu. Just move the screen a little forward. And
Mhm. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's morning Bhagavatam class. We are reading from Canto 3, chapter 19, the killing of demon Hiranyaksha, verse number 27. Mhm. Let me start with Mangala Charan prayers. Om Ajnanantimrandasya Jnananjanjalaka Chakshurumritam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tatati Swapatantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutam Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Tamsa Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Sri Lalita Vishakam Saja हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपिका गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय ओम नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य सारिणी ओम वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः ओम जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके ओम ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, verse number, chapter 19, verse number 27. Chitau sayanam tam akuta varchasam karala damsam pari dasta dachadam aja ajataya vikshasya samshur agata aham imam ko nu labate samastitam. Synonyms: Shitav, on the ground; Sayanam, lying; Tam, Hiranyaksha; Akuta, unfaded; Varchasam, glow; Karala, fearful; Damstram, teeth; Paridasta, bitten; Dat, Chadam, lip; Aja, Adaya, Brahma and others; Vikshasya, having seen; Sasam, Sasamshu, admiringly said; Agatha, arrived; Aho, oh, Imam, this; Ka, who; no, indeed, Labate, could meet; Samstit, Samstit, Samstithim, death. Translation: Aja, Brahma and others arrived on the spot to see the fearful tusk demon lying on the ground, bitten his lip. The glow of his face was yet unfaded, and Brahma admiringly said, "Whoa, who could meet such blessed death?" Purport by Sri Prabhupada. Although the demon was dead, his bodily luster was unfaded. This is very peculiar because when a man or animal is dead, the body immediately becomes pale, the luster gradually fades, and decomposition take place. But here, although Hiranyaksha lay dead, his body luster was unfaded because the Lord, the Supreme Spirit, was touching his body. One's bodily luster remains fresh only as long as the spirit soul is present. Although the demon soul has departed his body, the supreme spirit touched the body, and therefore his bodily luster did not fade. The individual soul is different from the supreme personality of Godhead. One who sees the supreme personality of Godhead when he quits his body is certainly very fortunate, and therefore personalities like Brahma and the other demigods eulogize the death of the demon. Hare Krishna. So, so what we have seen um, in the previous chapter, I mean this chapter, earlier in this chapter, we have seen um, how Lord Varaha rescues Mother Earth, who she was being submerged in the ocean, cosmic ocean by the demon Hiranyaksha. After a fierce battle, the Lord kills the demon, and here in this verse, uh, it highlights the aftermath of the battle. Um, while the demigods, including Lord Brahma, witnesses the scene and the marvel of the divine intervention of the demons, um, unusual posthumous radiance, signifying the touch of the Supreme Lord, even like how the body is still glowing after the after the death. Usually, in the purport, uh, we have seen. I mean, in the it's been we have seen in this purport, like we read, like um, when a body is dead, then it decomposes. But here in this case, the the Hiranyaksha's body was not decomposed. Instead, it was, even after the soul left the body, um, it was still glowing with a radiance. So, so if you look at, like the Hiranyaksha was so envious of the Lord, right? Like he was inimical to the Lord, and even being very much inimical to the Lord, he has been um, completely absorbed in the animosity towards Lord, and yet he was very fortunate to die in the hand of the Lord. So uh, to quit the body, seeing the personality of God. Yeah, like if a demon like Hiranyaksha can be so much fortunate, just think about how fortunate a devotee should be when he is uh, he is constantly in touch of the Lord by chanting, always engrossed in chanting the holy name. So Lord accepts. I mean, here we can see the the rasa of the Lord. I mean, he was uh, exhibiting the valor, virya rasa here, like uh, fighting with the demon and uh, um, killing him and delivering him. Right. So so. Um, so one should understand here, when somebody, I mean, even a demon can, like Hiranyaksha, who came in touch with Lord, was able to get delivered here, because here we can clearly see, like uh, he got moksha, but that is sayuja moksha, but it's completely Hiranyaksha was exhibiting his animosity, his hatred towards the Lord. Yet, after being killed by the Lord, he got the moksha. But that is to a level one Sahaja moksha, where he could only he was able to merge into the Lord. But in case of devotees, it's completely different, because devotee of Lord is um, is always absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. And as uh, so even he is completely engrossed in the thoughts of the Lord, chanting the holy name. When the devotee quits the body, here uh, he get the moksha, which is like, I mean, he don't ask for the moksha, but yet he gets the moksha where he is situated in the pure devotional service in the Vaikuntha planet, with the Lord, um, serving the Lord in the eternal world. Yeah, that's the conscious of a devotee. So I mean, for example, Srila Prabhupada says, even if in the material world, right, it's so precarious that the devotee at the time of his death, he i- if he if he is not able to think of the Supreme Lord, right, still the Lord grants the mercy that whatever the devotee has practiced throughout the life, the Lord shows mercy and grant him a special favor, where he can still be able to go back to Godhead. So this is the understanding of this particular verse, is like the importance of practicing a devotional service, because um, when 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 we leave this material world, the death of the devotee and the death of ordinary living entity is completely different. Uh, Prabhupada, Sri Prabhupada gives an example. I mean, and I have like the ordinary soul is completely fearful of death. Um, whereas the devotees will never fear about the death. Because his conscience is always uh, thinking about God, how to serve, how to please the Lord. So whether in this world or the other world, his conscience is always to serve the Lord. So in one of the lecture I heard, the comparison given was like the kitten, when the cat is holding the mouse in its mouth, right? Like um, it experiences the experience of the rat in the mouth of cat is experiencing the fear and death, right? But he is able to see the death personification in the jaws of the cat. But in case of devotee, when he is living his life in material world, the same cat, when it is holding the kitten is not feeling fearful. It is feeling protected. Here, the consciousness of kitten is completely different. It is not filled with fear. It is filled with affection for the mother. Uh, like we can clearly say, like when Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu, where the Lord Nrsimhadev appeared, right? Like uh, the Prahlad Maharaj was feeling that motherly affection when he saw Lord Nrsimhadev, uh, the in case of here Hiranyakashipu, he sees he completely experiences a fear, right? So very similarly, the devotee and the ordinary living being has these kind of experiences. Superficially, they seem to be. I mean, here the rat and the kitten seem to be in the mouth of the cat, but both of them are experiencing completely different emotions. Um, So the same as the devotee and a ordinary living entity. So also um, also, I mean, I found one analogy very interesting. Is actually this material world is compared to a deep dark well, a very deep dark well, and if somebody is fallen into that well, right, practically he's hopeless. Um, because it's so the well is so deep and it's so dark. Even if he cries out, there's no one to hear. And even if somebody hears his cry, right, like in the dark well, he may not be able to find out, or he cannot uh, save save the fallen person from lifting from a deep dark well. But uh, but Prabhupada gives an example where still a person can be saved if somebody who is having a torchlight, if he puts a rope inside the well, then there is a light of hope. The living entity can hold on to that rope, and if that person who is standing outside the well can pull that rope, then the person can come out of this deep dark well, right? So similarly, the mercy of the spiritual master can pull us out from this materialistic deep dark well. Um, so here there are two things. One is the mercy of the spiritual master, but from our side, we should have that little endeavor. A little endeavor is required. That endeavor is at least we have to hold on to that rope. That much endeavor is required because we don't have to come out of the well uh, with our own strength. Because there is no possibility to come out. But with our strength, if we can hold on to the rope, which is given by the spiritual master, so if we hold on tightly to that rope, right, like and by spiritual master's mercy, uh, we can be pulled out of this material existence. So so one thing we have to understand, right, like this mm, the human form of life, it's so important to understand that this valuable form of life should not be wasted. We should not die like a cats or a dogs. We should not die as an ordinary we should not we should not die an ordinary death. So our human life is meant, mm, I mean, we got this human life after so many millions of lives, and if we die like a ordinary living being, then the whole, I mean, the mission of the human life is defeated here. So we we should we should completely utilize this life which came after so many millions of lives, so that we can go back to Godhead. So, in order to have that, I mean, we need to cultivate uh, right from the childhood. Uh, we need to cultivate that Krishna conscious right from the childhood, so that we are in the right path and get the mercy of the spiritual master and hold on to that rope, uh, which is uh, which is which was granted by spiritual master to us, so that we can come out of this material existence. So here, see, even when we look at Hiranyaksha, he got the mercy, but that mercy cannot come to any living entity, right? Like, because even though Hiranyaksha was completely absorbed. He was completely absorbed in Lord, but in it was, but he was absorbed in a different way than a devotee. So, but ordinary people who because they are not in constant touch with Lord, they they may not get the same glory as Hiranyaksha, God. Because I mean, if you look at if you go back, Hiranyaksha was the associate of Lord in his previous life, right? He was the doorman serving the Lord in Vaikuntha planet. So so the essence of this verse is like, you know, we have to be the while Hiranyaksha was uh, practicing, he was constantly in touch with Lord in, uh, in the hatred form, while the devotee is always uh, in touch with Lord by chanting the practicing Krishna conscious, chanting the holy name. Always devotee try, try to be constantly in touch with Lord. So um, it's guaranteed, like as Krishna promises, like right, whatever the conscious we are observed during the death, we take that form. So the devotee always, since the devotee is always constantly in touch with Lord, right? So they are guaranteed they'll be delivered to Vaikuntha planet. Um, but the ordinary living entities, if if they don't utilize this human life properly, and with whatever conscious they are carrying, they will take that form in their next lives. So I will stop here, Prabhu. Just let's open it for a discussion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I was just waiting. Thank you so much. Nice class, actually. I was just thinking about when you read the verse. I mean, when you mentioned about Hiranyaksha, he was so envious of the Lord, and he did so much. I mean, we heard from Maharaj when he was, giving classes on these earlier verses, right? I mean, he was so envious, and he was insulting, and he was talking so bad about the Lord. And
Mhm.
at the end, he was getting the mercy of the Lord in the form of death, right? So, I mean, he would have, of course, he was someone is so envious of him, and still he is giving the mercy to him, right? So, because in this verse it says body is not decomposed, and of course he is going to get that liberation, right? So, whatever liberation
Mhm.
he's going to get it.
Saija.
How, glorious death is that Brahma is talking about it, right? So, though he was so envious, but the Lord is so merciful, right? So, because if, in this world, when we say somebody is against or envious, we will try to do harm, right? The Lord is not actually in one way, it is actually blessing to the Hiranyaksha,
Mhm.
right? So I
Yes.
was just thinking about it. So you would have, if somebody is, so this guy is going to get liberation, okay, let somebody else kill him, not me, right? It's not that kind of attitude, right? We are seeing here from the Lord. So he was so envious, and he was giving that his mercy. So I was just thinking about that, the merciful nature of the Lord. So thank you, Prabhu. And also, I was just when contemplating about the glorious death that you mentioned. One should not die as a like a normal living entity, ordinary living entity.
Yes, Prabhu.
Mm.
I always think about Mahati Gopi Mataji from our congregation, how gloriously she passed away, right? Like she,
Yeah, I remember that.
um, the conscious she was carrying all through the last minute. Um, so I have learned so much from her. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the class. I was just reflecting on what, we generally hear that when the demon gets killed in the hands of the Lord, they get liberation. But, the case of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu is different,
Yes, Prabhu. Totally
correct?
different. Yes, yes.
Their case is that after 3 births, they will return back to Vaikunta, unlike others. Others will only go to Brahmajyoti,
Mm-hmm.
So, in their case, it's a very special case where the Lord made special rules for them. So they were in Vaikunta, and so I don't know what happened to them in between their 3 births that they took, but you know, it, after the 3 births, I think they went back to Vaikunta. So it was not Brahma. They didn't merge with Brahma Jyoti. That's all, Prabhuji. That's the only thing that I wanted to say.
Yeah, they are specially empowered from the Lord Himself, right? For these three births they took in the material world, it was empowered by the Lord only. Um, so you are right, Prabhu. Um,
Yeah, thank you, Radhakundi Parpoyas. Yeah, they're not liberation in the sense that, I mean, any other demons also, I was thinking in general, I know I brought up this point with one Sompal Maharaj also, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
different.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the
yeah.
Lord does that for all the
Hmm.
demons.
Yeah. This is more like, if you have a drama or a movie, a play where you bring in special characters, guest actors, and they come and they go. They're not like, so, but yeah, in general, whenever the Lord touches somebody, the touch itself is enough. So, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. That touch is very, I mean, gives a lot of hope for me, especially like and by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we are very fortunate to be in this Krishna conscious movement where uh, we are trained to um, by the mercy of Lord we got the Maha Mantra, and with the association we are enriching the potency of Maha Mantra. Together Sangha, we are able to chant holy name, do the kirtan. So that gives a lot of hope. Uh,
Thank you,
thank
Srinivas Prabhu. Dharmat Pram Jiswat ki Jai Prabhu. All the example you are giving were very, very helpful to understand. Thank you, Prabhu.
I'm thankful to the lectures I've been hearing, especially from I picked up these analogies, and whatever the analogies were provided by the Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, and been discussed in different lectures. I was able to grasp those things and present here. Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay, Prabhu, we'll end now.
Yes,
Amen.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Vanchakalpatarubhasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavim Namo Namo.